To put things into context, let us take a look at our mental health. Today, we are living in a very competitive world. The rule of the game is survival of the fittest and elimination of the unfit. Burnout is almost inevitable because we live in an always-on society and we are expected to be fast movers, efficient workers, multitaskers, and many of us seem to be working for most of our waking moments, and the pressure of workplace productivity is greater than ever. Remember that your mental health is just as important to your overall well-being as your physical health. At this time of the pandemic, of course, many of us are working in isolation in their homes to practice social distancing, and there is a greater need for us to nurture ourselves, to take a step back and pause. Why do we need to pause? Well, taking a pause is conscious slowing down. It is taking a break, taking a step back from what we are doing so we can clear our minds and gain a new perspective. In this way, we will be able to make better and reasonable decisions. We can do this pause with plants. Now, let me share to you the impact of plants on mental health. Plant care is a form of self-care. Taking care of plants is a very meditative experience for me. It calms my nerves, it helps me become more focused, makes me happy when I see new growth or blooms, and I love the way I feel in my home being surrounded with so much life. When I started Grow Girl way back in 2019, I just wanted to document my plant journey. You know, when you own plants, you always want to talk about plants, and sometimes I feel that I have to let it out in an avenue, and I found blogging to be the best way to do it. Never did I expect to have followers and know people who share the same hobbies, ideas, and love for plants the way I do. I would post anything from photos to videos, memes, stories on how I killed my plants, and it's a very humbling experience to know that just like me, other people kill plants too. Next, gardening is therapeutic. Way back 2014, when I was still a student, my roommate gifted me my first plant. 1 week later, it was dead, and that was the start for me. I never gave up on taking care of plants and making them thrive since. It helped so much on my emotional well-being, helped me overcome negativities in my life, and I was able to radiate more positivity to others. When I see them grow, it's as if a part of me grows too. Shopping for pots is therapeutic too. This is me on a happy place looking for new pots for my plants, and I love collecting cute pots, and it just makes me happy when I see different colors and shapes in my house. The stress of 2020 has many of us looking for relief among the leaves. People also seem to be engaging with nature more deeply than before the pandemic. It is a silver lining that our isolation had us wanting to bring nature back into our lives. Even if some don't continue with gardening after the pandemic, at least now we know that taking care of plants is a very good way of coping with the current situation. Now, let me tell you some of the life lessons I learned from plants. First is that growth doesn't just happen. Growth takes time, effort, and sometimes stress. If you want to reach your potential and become the person you were created to be, you must go out of your way to seize growth opportunities as if your future depends on it. Why? Because it does. When you take care of plants, you have to provide it with its needs for it to grow, and it doesn't happen overnight. Growth doesn't just happen, not for me, not for you, not for anybody. You have to go after it. Next is loss is a part of life. Plants have an inherent need to survive. My years of experience in taking care of plants only mean that I have killed more plants than others. All plants die. We have to accept that loss is inevitable, and sometimes it's not you, it's them. You may have given your best attempt, but sometimes that is not enough and it's okay. Celebrate small wins. We live in a world that praises productivity, achievement, and the busier you are, the more important you may seem. And sometimes it may feel as if we're chasing one dream after the next without really slowing down to celebrate the small wins. For example, for me, when I see a baby leaf sprout, it reminds me to celebrate the small things, because as you nourish these small ideas and small steps forward, it adds up and eventually becomes what is actually the journey of your life. Next, we have to grow towards the light. Energy flows where attention goes. The more we focus on the good in our life, the more we attract the goodness and abundance. I am guilty of letting one negative message in a sea of loving and kind messages wreck my spirit. If you ever felt this, I believe it comes from wanting to be seen for who we are. And when someone misjudges that, it can be very hurtful. So you have to learn to grow towards the light and see the good around and put more weight into the positive. Next, we have to cut off the dead leaves. Why must we prune a plant? It's because the dead leaves cause stress to the plant and take up energy which could have been used by the healthier parts for it to thrive. If we don't prune our own lives, the dead weight can hold us back. So you have to let go of what is not serving you so that you can get unstuck and step into your power. Next, you have to bend before you break. How many of you have been in a situation or a relationship where you feel like you just can't take it anymore? Maybe some of you are in that situation right now. In every challenging situation we are in, we should first do some bending of our own. We should take an honest look at ourselves and how we may be contributing to the problem. We should bend our strong wills and opinions. We should bend to the other person and try to work it out and get along. Maybe we, in fact, are part of the problem. Next, it's okay to outgrow your pot. It's normal to outgrow something and seek change. Whether you've outgrown your job, your style, the city you live in, a relationship, or an old way of thinking, we need to allow ourselves to grow and adapt. We have to accept the fact that, like plants, we will continue to outgrow our pots for the rest of our lives because that's how growth is, and we are expanding as human beings. Growth is something to be celebrated and supported, even when it can be painful. Next one, this is related to the previous one. Stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. You have probably heard the catchphrase, bloom where you are planted. That phrase is meant to encourage us to dig deep into areas where we live and work. But have we ever stopped to question the premise? Have we ever asked ourselves, where should I plant myself? So, you always have to remind yourself to be uprooted if you are not growing. Because you cannot truly bloom if you sit forever right where you were planted. Great things never came from comfort zones. Next one is you have to be resilient. Wilted plants can still perk up when watered. Some plants like cacti can withstand long months of drought. When they get stressed, they give off nice colors. And like plants, we should learn to rise above hardships, overcome adversities, and bounce back from difficulties. And lastly, you should never stop growing. Part of finding and sustaining happiness in your life is opening yourself up to new things. As you get older, each day is a new opportunity for learning. Your career and your life need to follow the path of constant growth. You want to get better and better at each thing that you do. And the more we grow, the more exciting our lives and careers continue to be. Help your plants grow, watch your life glow. Again, when life throws difficulties, remember to pause. Pause with plants. Remember to take care of yourself first so you can take care of everything you want to take care of. To end this topic, I would like to reiterate some lessons I learned from plants. When you want to take a break, pause and tell yourself to be a plant. Stay grounded, connect to your roots, bend before you break, follow the light, turn over a new leaf, put on some nice colors when you get stressed, enjoy your unique natural beauty, be resilient, and grow. That would be all. Thank you for listening.